Hey guys, welcome to your new live session from NZ Pocket Guide. There's a lot happening today. Well, first up, bad news. COVID has hit our town here in New Zealand. We'll cover that a little bit more in depth during this live session. Second, we do have a new look for this live session, both on the chat next to Laura over there. It does look, I hope, nicer. Tell us what you think. There is no big computer right in front of me anymore. We now have you on screen right here, which means that Laura can see all your comments. So be nice, guys. Everybody be lovely, because now
she can. Not the usual stuff you guys put on there.
Yes, now you guys have to be nice and kind. And also, we are going to be talking about Patreon. We have just launched on Patreon, so that's pretty cool. And we'll show you some behind the scenes and everything. There's a lot of new stuff that I can do with the new setup that I've done. So yeah, and some of you have seen me doing the setup a little bit earlier. Anyway, so we're going to be also talking a lot about traveling in New Zealand, because we kind of are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. So if you have any questions about traveling in New Zealand, ask it to us. But Laura, why are we the experts?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide, because it literally has thousands and thousands and even more thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. Of course, when you're actually able to come to New Zealand, because yes, at live session number, I don't even know anymore. 152. The borders for most international visitors coming to New Zealand are still closed. But, I mean, if you're already in New Zealand, of course you have access to the beautiful free nzpocketguide.com to plan the perfect trip. But if you are overseas, it's never too early to plan. And that's exactly what nzpocketguide.com is for. So make sure to go check it out. There's a lot to get through on the website, and it's all 100% free. But if you're not really into reading, that's what this live session is for. Right now that you're watching, we do it every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And if you want to know what that is in your time zone, there's a handy link in the description below which will link you to when that's going to be in your selected time zone. Or otherwise, you can always just click subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll get a notification when we're about to go live. And that's just the easiest way to make sure that you don't miss our live session. So what we do during this live session...
Oh no, there's more.
Don't worry, there's more. So let me explain what happens to you during this live session. Well, nothing really happens to you. You decide whether you want to participate or not, but if you do want to participate, you can put your New Zealand travel questions into the live chat, which is on the side of one of your screens, and ask your questions directly to us. But otherwise, if you do miss the live session, just ask your questions in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Now I'm done, Robin.
You're done? You sure? Okay, cool. All right, this morning we have Nathan that says, Kia ora, good morning, Laura and Robin. How are you doing, Nathan? So I don't know if you guys know, but Nathan is a local. He's living in Taupo as well. So we live nearby the town of Taupo. And now, sadly, we do have COVID in Taupo. So we'll talk about that soon. We have Anthony Comstock that says Morena from Rodeo, California. What does Morena mean?
It means good morning in the Maori language.
And there's a lot of emojis. I love that. That just brightened my morning, all those emojis right here. We have Tamo Sirag that says, good evening. How are you doing, Tamo?
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us yet another, for another live session. Tamo is becoming regular now. Nice. Tamo is becoming part of the family.
We do like our regulars, don't we?
Yes. What do we have? We have Anthony Comstock that says, yes, that looks much better. I can actually read it now and it's not so little.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of work in trying to make everything look first nice. So, it all matches the right branding and everything like that. But also... making sure that you guys can read it better. We're also going to slowly try to improve the quality. As we get Patreon, maybe we'll be able to get some better internet, better fiber, better everything. So that'd be quite good if you guys want to check us out on Patreon. What do we have? We have Joey Harb, which says, good morning. How are you doing, Joey? If you want to check out Joey's work, he's on Instagram at Exploring with Joey, if I'm correct. I think that's...
Yes, with an X and no E.
Yeah, that's what she says. And there's also some of his best New Zealand pictures, which are currently on our website on nzpocketguide.com. There's a nice little feature for Joey, so you may want to check that out. Michael Stewart is here and say hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, Michael? Thank you for popping in. We also have Nerisha that says good evening from South Africa. Nice.
Good evening.
We have Clay that says good morning, and we have Extreme Talauta that says Morena.
Morena.
All right. Okay, guys, so while we are warming up and some more people are are popping in right now, let's talk a little bit about Patreon. So yes, you guys have been asking us to join Patreon for quite a while now. So we finally did join Patreon. So we'd love for you guys to kind of join us in that journey. I know that especially in COVID time, it's not it's not possible for everybody to be able to pitch in money wise. But if you are able to support our channel, that will help us have a better setup. Every dollar that we will make on Patreon, we will put it back into either doing the live session better or into like some fun project around the South Pacific. So that'll be quite cool. And there is multiple tier levels, and what we tried to do is really to give you a lot of value for your pledge. So if you are joining us on Patreon, you're not just going to get a shout out in the live session and everything. We worked really hard to go well beyond. So you have some exclusive content, you can have some extra live session, but also we worked on like some special guides. So we have we listed all our very, very, very hidden gems in New Zealand, both on North Island and South Island. I took the North Island and Laura took the South Island. So we have PDFs for you with like some super hidden gems.
Maps included.
Yeah, maps included. We also have like some, the best spots to do each of the 45 top activities in New Zealand. So we've done that as well. There is a lot of different stuff. You can have one-on-one time with us as well if you need some help planning a trip.
Any feedback on your itinerary?
Yes, we can do all that. We have a secret Facebook group where you can hang out with us and we show you a lot of behind the scenes and everything, which can be quite a lot of fun. So if you want to consider that, you can go to patreon.com/NZ Pocket Guide, and maybe you'll be able to find a pledge that suits your budget. It starts at like the price of a cup of coffee a month, and
or
as
cheaper.
I say, yeah, $5, yeah, and I don't know, $5 US, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So we're discovering Patreon with you guys. So, it's going to be a journey that we're into together. And I want to thank Fabio, which is our first Patreon. He joined us yesterday. So I'm stoked to have Fabio. And he's at the Explorer level, which is really awesome. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Anyway, what do we have? We have Michael that says he's all right. So that's cool, Michael. Good to know that you're well. We have Joskis1 that says greeting from Key Largo, Florida, USA. Nice.
Greetings.
How are you doing, mate? Oh, that's awesome to have somebody from so far away. Oh, speaking of far away.
Greetings. So we've got Famsundo. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Saying greetings from Nigeria. So yeah, that's
even further away, I think.
It's quite far away.
Yeah. Wow.
So, welcome to the live chat.
Joey says, I'm well, just woke up with a bit of a headache. It looks, it took some Panadol. Hopefully that'll fix me up. How bad is COVID in your area? They're not going to lock you down, right? Well, we don't know just yet. So let's talk a little bit about that. So we live, I don't know if you guys know, but we live in central North Island, not too far from the town of Taupo. And it's right by the biggest lake of the country, right in the center of town. And yesterday they announced that there was the first case of COVID-19 in the town. And literally only a few hours later, there was already 3 more. So we're now up to 4 different cases within our town over there. So for this reason, we are going to be extra cautious, and we will definitely stay indoor for a little bit. Despite the fact that we're both vaccinated, but just as a precaution measure. Yeah. And so COVID-19 has hit our town. Hopefully there's not going to be that many extra cases, but there is a press conference scheduled for today at 1 p.m. So we'll see what's going to happen to us. Hopefully we're not going to be too much in lockdown, but I think we should be fine. And we went through so many lockdowns in the last couple of years. I don't think lockdown is something too scary anymore. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh well, it's just another one.
And compared to other countries, I know New Zealand has had it quite easy compared to I'm from the UK originally, and I know that the UK has been in lockdown for more than a year. Yeah. So I think we have it pretty easy in New Zealand.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky in New Zealand so far. So let's just keep counting our blessing rather than complaining about things.
Yes.
Sorry, I just moved my chair a little bit.
Too far away.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to launch too much. So I'm just going to keep moving that. I've done some work on the studio. I don't know if you guys saw that. There was a video this week where I was battling my way against that little stand that we have right now with the computer, and the little stand won. Actually, there's something new I can do, guys. I can actually show you.
Maybe you can show people what you're talking about.
I can show you what I'm talking about right here. Let's have a look if I can do that or not. No, can I? Ooh, something is wrong. Ooh. Okay.
It only ever goes wrong when you're actually live.
Yes, of course. All right. All right, guys, here you go. I can show you some behind the scenes right here. This is Laura.
Hello.
Hey. And so, this is what we're looking at live right now when we talk to, when we...
we imagine all your faces are on those light boxes.
This is your faces right here. This is what we're looking at. And this is like, we basically see your comments right here and everything. And so I was building this little stand right here, and kind of may have failed against that stand a couple of times. So here you go. Oops, my head wasn't straight, but here you go. Okay, we're gonna go back to, and I'm gonna change that. Boom, back here.
Boom.
Look at that, guys. I mean, we're moving up in the world right here, don't we?
We're so technical.
Yeah, it's like high tech here. Okay, Anthony Comstock, what does he say?
He says, I think I might try it out. I don't know yet. I'll have to take a look to see what this Patreon is. So Patreon's it's actually pretty common on YouTube. A lot of content creators do have a Patreon channel, Patreon page perhaps. I'm figuring it out too.
Again, we're figuring it out. Yeah, and it's basically a way so you pay only, you have a little fee every month, and you get access to a lot of extra little things that we will do for you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun. We can even send you postcard. There's a pledge where we send you postcard like 4 times a year, all the way from us to you, and that's kind of fun.
So basically, if you like what we do during this live session, it's basically taking it to the next step where you can get even more sort of content like this from YouTube, because we will be, one of the pledges is for us to do an extra live session every week, so you can come and spend more time with us, and heaps more perks as well. We really try to make it so you guys, it's not just about you guys supporting the channel. We actually want to give you something that will be really useful for you guys when you are planning a trip to New Zealand or just want to know more about New Zealand related things. We kind of know a lot about New Zealand.
Yeah, we definitely do. Also, maybe we get rid of that hideous thing, which I start hating. We're having it for so long now. Maybe we'll find something better to put there, all together and everything like that.
What is there to hate about a beautiful string sort of picture?
Okay, we have Martina Stan that says, good evening. Oh, I forgot Anthony's second comment.
Oh, yes.
How do you, that's me, just hi to Martina. Martina, how are you doing in Germany? How is it going for you?
Okay, moving on to Anthony's second comment, which was, well, I hope you're going to be safe. I'm used to seeing you every Sunday here every Saturday here and Sunday at your area. Yes, I don't think Anthony has missed a single live session in, I don't even know how long. It must be coming on a couple of years now.
Was it a couple of years? Anthony,
I feel it's definitely been more than a year. So I feel like since this whole COVID thing has been happening, since the beginning of then, we've had Anthony greeting us with Morena, and then wrapping up the live session every week, saying that stay safe, I'll be here until the end. So moving on to Martina saying good evening. We already said good evening, Martina. And then Joey says, what's your vax rates in the Taupo
I'm
region?
literally looking that for him right now. So far we are on, we are part of Waikato.
Yes.
Waikato region. So apparently, first dose we are 89%, second dose 78%. But Waikato is one of the most spread out region and everything. So in the Taupo region, it is much lower. And I've seen some numbers at around like 57% and everything like that. But I'm not 100% sure. There's nothing like super precise on that just yet. But so our actual region is at 78%. But the region encompasses a lot of other much bigger cities than Taupo. So Taupo is a little bit behind. There is a decent amount of vaccine backlash in where we live. So sadly, it's not going so well. Okay. Nathan says, well, I hope we don't go into lockdown. I hope we're not going to go into lockdown. I think we're just going to be extra careful unless the case is going really, really massive. I think we'll be careful, but I hope that's going to give a jolt to people to go more, to get vaccinated.
Hopefully.
Better.
Anthony had another comment saying, I've never heard of it, but I think I'll try it. Yes, please do, Anthony. Go have a look on the link that it was patreon.com/NZ Pocket Guide.
Indeed, there's a link in the description of the video.
There's loads of information on that page on how it works and what you get for each tier of pledge that you do. So it's really easy to follow, really easy to have a look at. So go check it out.
Nice. We have Taupo that says, I'm quite a regular visitor here indeed. I've been here on every Saturday evening, which is Sunday morning for us. It's entertaining and educational at the same time. By the way, where is the Kiwi bird? Oh, fine. I'll show you guys.
We need a Kiwi bird cam, don't we? We need to set up like,
Why is this one not working?
Bix.
I don't know, but here you go, guys. Here is the Kiwi bird cam. It's just right here.
You need to zoom in onto that name tag of his.
Oh, yeah, with Bix right here. It's
As
the real
named
one.
by you guys. But
It's the real one. So if you look, I tried to get you see what I mean? He's our producer, right? He's just behind the camera right here.
We need to get him a director's chair, don't you think?
That'd be funny. So yeah, Kiwi bird is right here, but I'm going to grab him and I'll put it on the table right now. Anyway, I thought that was funny to do that. Here you go. Cool. What else do we have, Laura?
So we have Anthony again saying I think it was a year and a half before the pandemic started. Oh right, yeah. So that's quite a long time that Anthony has been tuning in. What feels like almost every single weekend. Every single weekend. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us all this time, Anthony. And hopefully soon you might be able to actually come to New Zealand and start, making use of all the tips that we do give you guys every single weekend for the past couple of years where the borders have been closed. And unfortunately, people haven't been able to execute their plans.
No, it's kind of like I've been helping people plan trips to New Zealand for like years now. It's kind of like, is one of you ever going to come? Just at least one person, What do we have? We have Michael Mariano from Hawaii, another super regular.
Yeah, aloha.
It's a ton of emojis as usual. It's always like so bright and colorful, this comment. I love it. It says, nice new format. It looks lively and fresh. Nice. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like the new format. I did put a lot of work in the last few weeks trying to make it work and be able to like change things around. You see, I can boom, just go right onto my face really quickly. Yeah, the rub cam right here. So yeah, working really hard on making sure that we keep things fresh and nice for you guys. So yeah, Martina says she's slowly recovering from a bad cold.
Oh no! Hope it is just a bad cold.
Yeah. Make sure you stay safe with this kind of thing. So we want you to be able to come to New Zealand as well, and so make sure that you take care of yourself until you come to New Zealand, and after it's fine.
Yeah.
But first, you need to be able to come and have an epic trip to New Zealand.
We have Moshin R. Habib saying Morena. And we also have Joey saying, did they say how many require hospitalization or ICU?
No, so there's just cases that have been detected. So all of the 4 cases in the town that we are at right now are just in home isolation. Hopefully they will stay in home isolation, and they have started releasing all the different points or location of interest where, if people have been in those location of interest at selected time, then at that point you need to make sure that you get tested, isolate, and all these kind of things. So yeah, again, Joey is referring to the fact that there is now 4 COVID-19 cases in the town we live in New Zealand. And that's in central North Island in the small town of Taupo. So we are being extra safe right here. And we also took the time to look at the location of interest. And we did not frequent those kind of establishments. But
not on that particular evening anyway.
Laura wasn't working that night. Okay.
For anyone that knows what that
so I have to explain.
It is quite funny.
I have to explain.
Yeah.
So one of the establishments, which was a location of interest, which is now published on the Ministry of Health website, is the local strip club. So if you have frequented the local strip club when that specific COVID-19 case was there, then you may want to call the government and tell them you were at this strip club and you may have COVID-19. But so this is why there is a bit of a running jokes around, because it's it's just a bunch of little pubs, and you can tell that those guys went on a right old bender.
They went to the fried chicken shop and
they went to the fried chicken, to the pub, to the strip club, to all that, and so it's kind of entertaining, and so obviously,
his wife is not going to be happy.
I wonder why, but so it's kind of entertaining right now to joke about. It's just a running joke. Obviously, we just try to find some entertainment out of the not so great news, that we are
Yes.
dealing with. But yeah, if you've been to the local strip club, guys,
Be safe.
Be safe. Be safe. Okay.
Maybe we can talk about what's coming up on the channel this week.
Yeah, and
Or
what we did a lot this week as well.
What's
yeah.
happened this week? Yeah. So if you haven't been keeping up with the channel because you haven't subscribed yet, which you really should, because then you'd know these things.
Oh yeah, YouTube say to do click like as well. So
Yeah, and click like on
yeah.
this live channel, this live chat right now. So anyway, what we've published this week on our NZ Pocket Guide channel is we are doing a recap of New Zealand's biggest gap year, which is where we did 365 days of 365 activities, which we did, it's coming on a few years now. So there have been a few things that have changed since we did that epic gap year around New Zealand where we were doing so many different tours and attractions, activities. And yeah, so we do this recap for you guys so you know what's changed and we answer some really sort of common questions that you guys have about those particular activities. And this week we published some more of those activities that we did in the city of Dunedin on the South Island. So if you want to check out what it's like to visit Dunedin and what are the sort of things you can do there, then check out our latest recap videos from New Zealand's biggest gap year. Also what we published on the channel this week was, what is it really like to do, was it
The Timber Trail.
Timber Trail. So what is it really like to do the Timber Trail, which is a multi-day cycling trail on the North Island through beautiful forest. It's a really epic bike trail, which you can do over 2 days or just skip and do the 1 day like we did. But yeah, check out that video to see what it's really like to do the Timber Trail.
And we also talked about heli hiking.
And we also talked about heli hiking. So where are the best places to go and do heli hiking in New Zealand? Because, contrary to popular belief, you can actually do heli hiking on more than just the Franz Josef Glacier. There are 3 places you can go and do glacier heli hiking in New Zealand. So check out the video to see our take on which we think is the best one. So that's what came up on the channel this week and what's coming up.
We'll talk about that after we answer those questions.
Yeah, so we'll get back to the live chat and we'll talk about that later.
So what is Famusuto says?
Famusudo says, do you think NZ will open the border for overseas next year?
So there has been a lot of development into the New Zealand border this year, and there's been some plans that were made, and there's been some plan that's been broken, and then keeps on going. So we do believe that yes, next year we'll see some form of border opening for overseas traveler. I don't think that New Zealand can afford to remain closed for much longer. However, what kind of form, shape, and timeline those kind of border opening are going to be taking? Yeah. Well, what kind of form that's going to take? Yeah. Anyway, what kind of form that is going to take, we don't know just yet. What is pretty much certain is that for the first quarter of 2022, which is January to March, it's highly unlikely that much movement is going to happen. The initial plan before the last COVID-19 outbreak in New Zealand was to start doing some trials during that period. Now, because of the latest COVID-19 outbreak, for multiple reasons, first because a lot of the manpower resources had to be diverted into managing the current outbreak, and also, well, to the fact that now they have to do some new regulation with new vaccine and all these kind of things. This is going to take an extra time. So we feel that during the first quarter, not much is going to happen. Maybe they'll be able to push for those tests, but it's not necessarily going to happen. So we don't think that there is going to be a wider border opening until mid-2022 at the earliest. And yet there is going to be some requirement. It is almost... I don't see a way where COVID-19 vaccine is not going to be mandatory to travel to New Zealand, but that maybe there's going to be some exceptions or something, but I don't see a way where the vaccine won't be mandatory. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is that there is going to be some extra restrictions. There may be some limited capacities. There may be some thing that's going to be only certain type of visas can come to New Zealand. So there is going to be a lot of hoops to jump through until things normalized. And we don't see a normalization of traveling in New Zealand until the beginning of at the earliest, and again, it's just projection, at the earliest until the beginning of the summer 2022, which in New Zealand starts in December 2022. So until basically the end of next year, we don't see anything kind of really stabilizing. And again, that would be kind of a quick turnaround in our opinion. So yeah, that's just how we're feeling right now at the moment. That's why we haven't done a prediction video in quite a while, just because there is so little amount of information, and we only do like news or prediction videos when we feel that there is actually news to talk about. We don't like to just speculate for the sake of speculating.
Yeah.
So I hope that this answers your question. I hope that Clay got himself a shot out of that question, because just making that morning even more joyful. Speaking of Clay, his son had a birthday last week. That reminds me, that's one of the Patreon perks. We can send you a little birthday video message from Laura and I for one of the hike that we're doing and everything like that.
And it looked like he had a pretty epic cake as well.
I
did see the picture of the cake. And
that was pretty amazing. All right, moving on. What is Adil saying, Laura?
Adil says, Kia ora, Robin and Laura. Love the new setup. I would like to know if there are any wheelchair accessible wildlife. Sorry, we just lost the comments. Accessible wildlife tours in New Zealand. And if not, then what is the best way for a wheelchair user to see New Zealand's wildlife in person? Note, I am referring to land tours. Okay. I'm just trying to think. Do you have any ideas?
Well, for example, the treetop walkway, I think, is wheelchair accessible.
It is wheelchair
in the
accessible,
West Coast. So you
yes.
might want to talk about that. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, so that's a good place to start. So it's not specifically a wildlife tour, but you do happen to see quite a few birds on this at this attraction, which we're talking about is the West Coast Treetop Walkway, or also known as just the West Coast Treetop Walk. It is situated just outside of the town of Hokitika on the South Island, and this is an elevated walkway which is wheelchair accessible. It's just like a ramp to basically get you out onto this walkway, which is elevated in native trees, and from there you can actually see birds that are usually quite high up in the trees. We do have a video on the channel actually of us visiting this attraction ourselves, and quite a funny video actually of some wildlife that we did see during this walk. We did get a pretty good view of a couple of wood pigeons that were a little too big for the branch they were sat on. So yeah,
I think they were just a bit drunk as well.
A bit too
wood pigeons are known to get a little drunk.
They are a bit clumsy. So yeah, check out that video actually if you want to see what we're talking about with those wood pigeons, but also to see if that's the sort of thing that would appeal to you. Do you have any other?
There is some really accessible, easy to access seal colonies around New Zealand. There are, for example, Cape Farlwyn. I'm thinking about. It's kind of easy to access as well. So there are a lot of those kind of locations. But the one thing I'm going to point you out to is NZ Pocket Guide. We actually do have a full article on a disability and traveling in New Zealand, which we talk about a lot of different adventure activities you can be doing, as well as some wildlife too and everything.
Yeah.
Do you have another one that comes to mind?
Yes, I do have another one. Zealandia is actually really good and really good wheelchair accessibility there. This is a wildlife sanctuary that's actually pretty much in the middle of the city of Wellington. You can access it, you can drive there yourself, or you can get a free shuttle from the city centre to Zealandia. And yeah, once you're there, they have some really good, well-maintained trails. Even most of the trails are actually tar sealed, so it's really easy. And so you can choose like certain trails to take, and the gradients can be quite easy for wheelchair users, and you won't have to rely too much on other people pushing you or whatever. So yeah, that is a very good wildlife sanctuary to go to if you are a wheelchair user. And what's also really cool about Zealandia is that they have feeding stations for the birds, so they're sort of attracting birds so you can easily see them. It's very rare that you go to Zealandia and you don't see anything. There are birds everywhere, and you even get to see some of the more rarer species, for instance like the takahe, which is a large blue bird it's a flightless bird, and yeah, you can get to see that at Zealandia as well. So absolutely would recommend heading to Zealandia if you are a wheelchair user.
Sadly, in Zealandia, you do not see kiwi birds, but here is one of them for you.
You can actually do a night tour to see kiwi birds. But that's actually an experience we haven't had to have ourselves.
No, we've seen kiwi bird elsewhere.
But we have seen kiwi birds in other places as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, there's an article for you on NZ Pocket Guide, mate. So you'll be able to find even more awesome things to do there. Clay saying, I was going to say I got a freebie last week. Perfect timing. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. We are always nice people, right? It's just some extra perk that we can give you guys if you help us, support us. We are never not going to answer questions and everything like that. We, you know, everything is remaining the same. We just would love some extra support on Patreon in order to kind of kit out the studio a little bit more and be able to do things a bit nicer for all of you guys. Anish says, are there any good chances for the opening of the border for incoming students to the universities? So as I mentioned before, at this stage, there is not much of a plan from the New Zealand government about border reopenings or anything like that, just because at the moment there is just no focus on that. They're trying to contain the current outbreak, and that's the main focus for the government right now. But students may be able to come to New Zealand earlier than tourists, because students tend to stay longer in New Zealand, and therefore it's more worth it for them to even just go into quarantine and all this kind of thing. So we'll see if we get reduced amount of quarantine for people. You know, we already start talking about that a little bit. There is a video with the latest news that we talked about. So less amount of time in quarantine, therefore less of a quarantine fee, which may be really good, and then some home isolation, just those kind of things. So we'll see how things develop later on. Joey is giving a suggestion for a wheelchair accessible tour, and he's talking about Milford Sound tour. And he said they will have accessible wheelchair accessible wildlife. Yes, they would, but specifically, Adil was asking about land tour only. So yeah, but yeah, definitely there's plenty of cruises which are gonna have really cool accessible places. And actually, if you look at our article on NZ Pocket, you'll be surprised. There's plenty of skydiving which are accessible. There is some bungee jumping which are accessible. It's actually quite insane. Jet boat tours, yeah, there's really a lot of things that are actually really, really accessible, which I was extremely surprised when doing some research for that.
Yeah, and also my brother is actually a wheelchair user as well, and he came, a few years ago to New Zealand, and we did heaps of activities that he was able to do as well. So, you know, it's always good to just, you can do a lot of stuff even being in a wheelchair in New Zealand. Just some things might take a little bit of forward planning to see if some activity providers can cater to you or not. So that's just I guess, a little bit of a hurdle to, you know, you just have to do a little bit of maybe contacting a specific tour beforehand to let them know, like basically so they can prepare like anything they might need to prepare before you arrive.
Toby says, hi Laura and Robin, I love the video. I'm going to Hokitika from Christchurch. What are some activities I could do there when I get
going there and when I get there?
Yes, okay. Reading is hard.
I'm glad I can see the live chat now, so I can help you with that.
All right, go ahead. What are the things to do from Christchurch to Hokitika, like along the way?
Yeah, so...
I assume he's going to drive through Arthur Pass,
I was going to say, so the really cool thing is that means that you'll be driving through Arthur's Pass, which has loads of amazing, really beautiful, stunning walks that you can do on the way to Hokitika. So first of all, you can reach a place called Castle Hill, which has some quite cool sort of rock formations that are coming out of like the grassy hillside, and that's a really cool photo opportunity. It's not too much of a long walk. It's pretty easy to get to. So that's just before you sort of reach the Arthur's Pass National Park. And then once you're driving into Arthur's Pass, once you get to the town of Arthur's Pass Village, you have a lot of short walks you could be doing around there, but one I would definitely recommend is the Devil's Punch Bowl walk, which is taking you to a huge waterfall. Not only does it take you through beautiful forest and you're sort of in a mountainous valley area, but yeah, the sort of main attraction at the end of that walk is seeing the Devil's Punch Bowl falls. So yeah, that's a really cool walk to do as well. And also, when you're doing some, when you're driving through Arthur's Pass, there are some pit stops that you can be taking to a lookout. I think it's called the Otira Lookout. And if you go there, not only will you get a cool picture of the roads that actually go through Arthur's Pass, through this really sort of otherwise, you know, really inhospitable area to put a road, but you may be visited by Kia, which are the world's only alpine parrots, and they're very entertaining.
Very cheeky bird. Very cheeky bird.
Hold on to your bags. Make sure you don't leave anything lying around, because those birds will likely steal it. But yeah, it's really cool to just stop there for, you know, just a quick look at the view, and also to see if you check out, if you can see any Kia. So that's sort of like in Arthur's Pass, there's a ton of different really short walks you can be doing depending on how much time you have during the day. And we do have an article on NZPocketGuide.com, which is the 10 best things to do in Arthur's Pass National Park. So if you want to go check out that for even more short walks, if you actually do feel like you'll have more time, then you can check out all the different sort of like natural attractions you can be checking out there. So that's on your way to Hokitika. And then once you arrive in Hokitika, definitely check out the sunset from Hokitika Beach. There's a really nice driftwood art on the beach, just saying Hokitika, but sometimes other people make their own driftwood art of pretty cool things, and that's really nice silhouette pictures to take during sunset. In Hokitika, if you're staying there, an extra day, greenstone carving is a really fun thing to do there. We do have a video on this channel on NZ Pocket Guide of us spending the day carving our own greenstone pendants, so you might want to check out what that activity is like. One of the top attractions in Hokitika is actually just a bit of a drive just outside of the town, and that's Hokitika Gorge, where you get to see a beautiful sort of blue river going through this beautiful river gorge with a swing bridge going across, really nice forest. So, just some more basically classic New Zealand beauty that you can admire while you're around Hokitika. Some more sort of quirky things in Hokitika. There is the sock museum. Hokitika has quite an artsy town, so they have like the sock museum. They have greenstone carving studios. They have glass blowing studios and stuff. So you can go around and check out some quite interesting, different sort of indoor attractions there as well. They also have a kiwi bird house, so if you want to go see a kiwi bird, for instance. So hope that is enough inspiration.
Check out the article that I was putting on screen while Laura was talking. It's you go on NZ Pocket Guide and you type Hokitika things to do, and you'll have a nice list. And you saw there is enough information on each of those activities for you to know everything about those and know if they're worth your time. But Toby, tell us which one out of the million things Laura just gave you, tell us which one you are more interested in. Clay says, we have a zoo/nature park in Dunedin. Is it wheelchair accessible, Clay? That'd be interesting for Adil, so he'd love to know that. So give us more detail. We don't often go to zoos just because ethically we don't necessarily like to see many animals in jail. That's not really the thing that we enjoy too much. So I have to say we haven't seen many zoos in New Zealand, so we're more into conservation area and those kind of things rather than that. But everybody's different.
There's a sanctuary in Dunedin. I forget what its name is. It begins with an O. Maybe you know what
Orana, isn't it? Like Okana, Orana?
Yeah, but it's a bit longer than that. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But that's kind of like a sort of like a predator-proof wildlife sanctuary. Wildlife sanctuary there. So we kind of really like to encourage people to go to sort of those open sanctuaries where birds are able to come and go, and they're just usually protected by predator-proof fence or sort of predator-proofing techniques, which means that the birds aren't sort of in cages or in an aviary or something. So that's and there's a lot of those sort of sanctuaries in New Zealand. So that's what we would always encourage people to go check out, rather than going to zoos and seeing exotic animals and that sort of thing is maybe just a little bit ethically sketchy. All
right. So if you guys found our video useful, by the way, YouTube is telling me that very little amount of people have liked it. So hit that like button. Moving on. Sally, I just don't like to beg people for things. Sally says, hello, I love your new setup, and Laura, your hair looks lovely.
Oh, thank you, Sally.
There you go. So if you guys don't know, Sally has come quite a few times now. She's planning a nice little trip to New Zealand from the UK, and she has specific questions about penguins.
Yes. And we like penguins, and we like to answer questions about penguins.
We like penguins and we like Sally, so here you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, Joey says, how long was the gap year? Bungee jumping part 2? Hell no! The gap year was about like 3 years ago, if I'm correct. I keep on saying 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe it's a little longer. I'm always fuzzy on time.
Might be 4 years ago. Going on 4 years now.
Nathan says, quick question. What's the best way to do a bungee jump in Taupo? Because I'm going to do one in a few weeks for the last year at school with other year 13s. That's nice. So bungee jumping in Taupo is the only bungee jump I've actually successfully done in New Zealand. So the one I've done was the one I just kind of pass you through the water. And yeah, you probably won't do it naked like I did. But that's okay. It happens. I was young and stupid.
He's young and stupid, so he
don't
might
be
want to
young
do
and
that.
stupid. Anyway, so that's the one that I will recommend doing. So what I like about the bungee jump in Taupo is that the ledge that you are in just before you're about to jump is very, very small. So technically, I did not do a beautiful like wow and then jump. Like do those beautiful photo perfect jump. I did not do that whatsoever. My legs kind of gave up of fear and then it's like, and I just miserably fell. So that's kind of my experience bungee jumping in Queenstown. So in Taupo. And so that's the one I would recommend. So once you jump through the water, then there is some people in a raft that's going to come a little closer. They're going to extend a pole to you. You grab the pole, they pull you onto the raft, they untie you, and then they take you onto the banks of the river. That's basically what's happening. Another option is to do a swing. So to do a swing, you're usually strapped. Well, usually the swing is better when you actually want to share it with more than one person. So it's the best way to kind of basically do it with a mate. It's definitely less scary just because you're less in control of things. Like the swing at some point is released and it's like woo. Yes, I had to do the back and forth.
That was a very long impression.
That was a very long impression. Oops, sorry. Here you go. Look at it. I'm still working it out, guys. I'm still working it out. So that was a very long impression.
I think you can also do a tandem bungee at Taupo Bungee. So if you're a little bit scared about doing the actual bungee jump by yourself, then you can buddy up with a friend and you can both do it together and scream into each other's faces as you are falling from an insane height. So yeah, I mean, it depends on your scared level. If you're like, oh yeah, I got this, people, go do the bungee by yourself and do the water touch like Robin was saying. But if you're like me and you're probably a little bit scared about doing bungee jumps, then it's probably nicer to do it with someone else.
Indeed. All right, so we're just a quick catch up right here. Orokonui Eco Sanctuary is the eco sanctuary which is in Dunedin, and that we were trying to find a name, rack our brain and try to find it.
If it's more than 2 syllables, it then becomes harder to remember.
Yes, indeed. So thank you to Clay for clarifying this one. Let's go back up and talk to Adil. So he has a 3-part question, so we're going to go quickly through all 3 of them. Laura, are you ready? Thank you. I have a few more questions. 1, what does the NZ law state regarding tourists bringing in their photography equipment? You absolutely can. There is no problem with that.
Just the only thing where any laws you may come into contact with is if you have a drone. So there are a lot of drone laws in New Zealand about where you often need to get permission from. If you're on conservation land, you need to get permission from the Department of Conservation. If you're on council land, you need to get permission from the council most likely, or if you're on private land, permission of whoever owns the land.
Yeah.
So that is where you're probably going to come into the most sort of barriers when it comes to photography.
I will in short, I will suggest not bringing a drone.
Yeah.
Just have your nice cameras and you'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, 2, is the Omaka Aviation Heritage Center wheelchair accessible? Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
And 3, is the Otago Museum wheelchair accessible, and is it a full day tour? Yes, it is wheelchair accessible. Is it a full day tour? It can take you like a good half day, like 2-3 hours. You'll have fun there, but I don't think
I don't think you would. Perhaps.
If you read everything.
Yeah. So the thing with the Otago Museum is, you can do the different, you can go see all the exhibitions, but they also have a planetarium. They also have different guided tours around the museum where, one of the sort of museum curators can sort of talk to you about all the different exhibitions and things. So I think if you were to do all those experiences, that could take you all day. And that's kind of what happened to Robin and I when we went there, because we were also doing filming and taking photos. So we did spend the whole day there, but I think for a normal visitor, if you're just going there to look at the free stuff and, maybe just do one of the paid extra activities they have there, that would still only take you about half a day. 5
people clicked the like button when I asked. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, Clay says in Dunedin, the forestry park in Tairiwa Mouth is not really a zoo, but more of a farm. Okay, yeah. Well then that's a bit more fine. I don't know. It's a grey limit. It's a grey area. Yeah. Okay, what about skydiving, says Joey. Joey says, if the bubble opens up for Christmas, I'll do it and send you guys the video as a form of celebration.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That'd be awesome.
So, yeah, we do love skydiving. I have no problem with skydiving. I do it any day of the week. I absolutely love skydiving.
Yeah.
And actually, in one of the Patreon perks, I actually put that as one of the activities in New Zealand. I gave like my absolute favorite place to do skydiving, and yeah, we do like all the different activities. But yeah, absolutely no issue whatsoever in doing skydiving. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and that's it. And the reason for that as well, compared to doing a bungee jump, you actually get the depth perception. You can see the ground that, you know, from where the ledge you're jumping off, and you can see the ground. That's a whole different level of kind of scary if you're scared of heights, compared to if you're skydiving. Your mind can't really comprehend how far you are away from the ground. So.
And also, I have to say, even when we are just flying under the canopy, right? When we get closer to the floor, I don't know. I'm just kind of like zipping through the air. I'm okay with that. I don't know. It's just the feeling of fall that I don't. I think that's what
also when you're bungee jumping, you're sort of, all you have is like straps around your legs, or in the case of Queenstown, there's one where they strap it around your waist, but otherwise you kind of feel pretty naked just falling. But when you're skydiving, you know, you get so much equipment. You've got a dude on your back, you've got like,
don't forget to pack your dude.
You've got the parachute and stuff, and you feel like you're more in an actual sort of like, you are set up and kitted out for jumping from high places. But yeah, compared to bungee jumping, you just feel like you're just falling, and you don't even notice any of the straps on you and things. So it's a little more scarier for that reason as well.
So Clay is surprising. Say love skydiving, but you hate bungee. Yep, absolutely. That's 100% correct. Definitely prefer. Actually, do love skydiving. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is that I do love skydiving, but I don't think I want to be certified and do it on my own. I do like the safety of having a dude, as Laura said,
yeah,
the
it's
dude.
handy to have a dude on your back.
Doing it all for you.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have? Nathan says, well played to Anthony, because yes, he did say, I know I'm saying this early, but stay safe, and I'm here until the end. And I beat you, Nathan. Good job, guys.
And then he retracted his message.
No, it's here. It's here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Clay understands it. That makes sense. Nathan says, have you been listening to Christmas music when you are not doing anything? It's not even December yet.
No, we haven't.
No, that's way too early. Have you? I guess you were telling us last time you work in retail, so I guess retail store have like those Christmas music starting like the 1st of November. They're like, we're gonna put them in the mood, and they play crazy. But no, we haven't. We have not listened to Christmas music.
Yeah,
just yet.
luckily, we don't have to listen to it. But I do feel sorry for anyone who is working in retail at the moment and has to deal with Christmas music for the next 2 months. I mean, yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah, Joey says, dude on your back definitely helps with the confidence. Yeah, it does, because the guy is like, well, now we're getting out of that plane. And since it's about 3 times your size, and you don't, he's holding your life in his hand. He's 3 times your size, and the door of the plane's already open. You don't feel like raising your hand and say, nope, not now, right? It's kind of like it's just happening to you. And so that's why, if I'm put in a situation that it's just happened to me, then I'm having a blast, like... I don't know. It's just a little bit.
And that's why those giant swings that you do instead of, usually bungee jumping places, they also would have the option to do like one of these giant swings. Or in Queenstown, they have like the canyon swing and the Nevis swing, that sort of thing. That's easier to do than a bungee jump, because you still get a little bit of that free fall, but then then you get the swing taking you across to the other side. But that is much easier to do because you're not really in control of that. Bungee jump is all on you. You have to jump. You have to take the leap. And that's the scariest part of bungee jumping.
Joyce is done. I'll make the video as entertaining as possible. Nice. Well, actually, as part of one of our Patreon perks, you can send us your videos and then we put them on the channel and all these kind of things. So that may be something you may want to consider. It's kind of a lot of fun.
And do we share people's photos on our social media?
Yeah, we also do that. One of them, we share all your photos on Instagram and all these kind of things. So yeah, we do a ton of stuff. Yeah. Actually, let's show the perks. If I do that, Laura disappears. So here's the three first perks for Instagram for Patreon if you guys are interested. So there is a $5, a $10, and a $20. So all those prices are just per month, and you get a ton of different kind of perks. And we really tried to do something that has a lot of value to you guys, with some content just made for you, some awesome guides and everything like that, and more interactions together, more time together, which can be quite cool. And there is another level right here, which is the really big level, but that's literally one-on-one time with me on camera, where we actually plan your trip together, just you and us. And so, yeah, that may be a thing that you may be interested to join us on Patreon. And if I do that, here you go, that should make sense right now. So yeah, so if you guys want to join us on Patreon, we're trying to build up a little bit that community all together. That'd be kind of nice. We already have a lovely patron. His name is Fabio, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he would love to have some company hanging out in secret Facebook group where we share a lot of behind the scenes and everything like that. Plus, you know that you've done good, because every dollar that we make on Patreon, we reinvest it in either in this live session or some fun project around the South Pacific, and so we're making things better for everybody, which is kind of nice. I noticed that the camera may not be straight. I may have to go adjust that while you read the comment of where are we? Are we on Nathan? I think. Yeah. Up, here you go. Okay. Back to live chat.
So Nathan says, my bucket list is to do bungee and skydiving. Bungee is first and then skydiving. I'm wondering, do you mean that all in one day or just in life in general?
I think if it's a bucket list, it has to be in life.
It has
to
be in life, yeah. But it would be a pretty epic day if you were to start off doing a bungee jump and then finish with a skydive.
Is the camera more straight? I feel like it is. I'm unsure. Tell me in the comments. Comment in the comments.
I think it might be maybe because you're slouching too much. You make
telling me off.
Wonky.
Okay, we're having a Decide Dennis that says most loving city of New Zealand you guys loved.
Loving city.
Ooh. I mean, Hokitika is definitely the cities of lovers. The sunsets are absolutely gobsmackingly beautiful. It's super romantic. So, also the architecture in the town is like a nice clock tower and everything like that. I will feel like Hokitika is kind of like really kind of loving city. You have some awesome walks, like the Hokitika Gorge, which are absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like your Instagram perfect spot. And there is the activity that we love a lot, and Laura already talked about already, where you can carve your own greenstone pendant, and therefore you can carve for your loved one an amazing greenstone pendant. So, if I had to pick one lover city in New Zealand, I would pick Hokitika.
Wow. I think I'm going to take a different approach to what loving means, and I'm kind of thinking that it's more like a welcoming city, like a city where people are usually, welcoming to new people, or maybe, you know what I mean. So. Actually, weirdly, this may come as a surprise to a lot of people, but the most sort of welcoming, loving city I seem to remember is Invercargill. They were very welcoming over there. They were kind of like...
There are lovely people over there. I know, it's a weird choice, but I actually agree. It's very lovely people.
They're very, the sort of people that, if there's visitors to the town, they're kind of keen to, like the locals are kind of keen to get to know you more and sort of show you some local hangouts and stuff. So, yeah, I feel like, I guess because it's a city that is the southernmost city, southernmost everything in New Zealand.
Breaking news! We have a new patron! Yay! Joey just joined us on Patreon, which is absolutely awesome. Nice. So thank you, Joey, for being there. I will add you to the little stuff. Literally, as Laura keep on telling you how much she loves Invercargill.
Yeah. So I think Invercargill's often a forgotten city in New Zealand. Not many people get to make it that far down south. So I think they're often really happy when people actually do make the effort to go that far down south. Once you get there, they are usually very welcoming and like, hey, you actually made it here. Probably want you to stick around.
No, it definitely is absolutely awesome to spend some time in Invercargill. I do really like Invercargill too, and I like the fact you took the approach in a very different way. So I think that's pretty cool.
Just in case we're not exactly answering the question that who asked it again? Was it? Decide Dennis. Yeah. So just in case you meant, Robin went on the romantic approach. I went on the welcoming approach. Hopefully one of those answers your question.
I just put the Patreon screen back up right now because Joey's name is going to appear somewhere here. And obviously, Joey, I'll be in touch with all your extra perks and all these kind of things very soon. Oh, that's cool to have Joey on board as well. Nice one. Okay, where are we on? We are Anthony Comstock, and he says, the only thing on my bucket list is to come to New Zealand so I can see to the series I like as well as the movies location I like.
Nice.
Yeah, so I know you want to go to Wellington to see that series. Do you remember the name,
The
Laura?
Tribe, was
The
it
Tribe,
called?
yes, that was
Yeah.
The Tribe. So I remember that. So yeah, definitely you will gonna want to spend some time in Wellington. Where's Nathan saying?
Nathan says, I plan to do skydiving in the summer. Very nice. Are you planning on doing it in Taupo, or are you going to go elsewhere for skydiving? Let us know.
We have Extreme Talauta that says, see you next week. We're still here for a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yes, and actually I'll be hanging out with the Patreons right after that. I'll do another live session for another hour with Patreons. So Joey may join, Fabio may join as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. What else do we have? We have Taupo that says, your camera is very well leveled, but the artwork on the wall seems tilted. So I think
Maybe it's the artwork then.
well, last time, I think, were you here, Taupo, when I was setting up the new studio and I dropped the stuff and we said we're not going to tell Laura?
Oh.
So
Oh, right.
we're not going to try to play with that just right now. Oh, sorry, I just
It
realized.
easily falls off the wall.
Yes, so let's not do that again, guys. Let's not do that. Okay, Joey says, what is Patreon about? I've heard it around before. Well, you just joined it, so you'll see. We'll learn together, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been sarcastic, I'm unsure. But we'll learn together, mate. We're going to send you a lot of perks and everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nathan says he's planning to do
it in
skydive
Taupo.
in Taupo. So yeah,
Nice.
we have done the skydive in Taupo. Sadly, the company that we've done the skydive with has closed. But
No, they're still around.
yes, that's true. That's true. Sorry.
We did it with the yellow plane.
Yes,
So
Well,
yeah.
I've done it off camera with the other plane, but yes, on camera we did it with that company. So yeah, they're still around. It's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, if you want to check out the video of us doing it with Taupo Tandem Skydiving,
TTS, yes, that's correct.
TTS, yeah, you can check us out on on YouTube. If you search NZ Pocket Guide Skydive Taupo, you should find our video pretty easy.
You should. That's
You
easy.
should.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to slowly wrap that up. If you guys don't have, don't have any more questions, but if you do have some, go ahead. Now, just telling you quickly what is going to happen this week. So I'm still going through my 101 favorite thing to do in New Zealand. And this week, we're going to be doing the 80 to 70. No, next week, that's 70 to 61. Here you go.
Ooh.
So we're getting closer and closer to the good stuff. So make sure you check those one out.
It's all good stuff.
It's all
right?
good stuff for
It's
sure.
all
But make
good
sure you
stuff.
check those videos out. Ton of work. And I'm always so sad to see like 120 people are watching those things. It's just so sad. So yeah, ton of work on that. I put my heart and soul into this thing. So make sure to check it out. What else do we have? We're still exploring Dunedin on New Zealand's biggest gap year, the recap. So we're going to show you more things to do around Dunedin. I'm just going to show that message. I don't know why things are hidden. Which is interesting. It's hidden, but it shows on screen. That's
Not very good hiding.
yeah, not very good hiding.
What are
And,
these bits on the bottom here?
that was the fact that it was hidden. It should refresh at some point.
okay.
Here you go. That just
There we go.
disappeared. And so yeah, and we're also going to show you what is it really like to go dine in Hobbiton. So that's gonna be quite
If
fun.
you want to feast like a hobbit, then go check out that video to see what it's like to do so.
So for some reason, the comment that was stopped
Yes.
by YouTube was Nathan saying, "Will you do it again if I ask you to do it with me for the skydive?" I do skydive any day of the week, mate.
Yeah.
I really will do skydive any day of the week. I do love skydiving, so yeah. I wouldn't do it with you because I will strongly suggest to have a
dude on your back.
a professional dude on your back, not a dumbass Robin,
Yeah.
there. But yeah, definitely do it with a real tandem master, not
Yeah.
with a guy with a bubbling head on YouTube. Just it's a life advice for everything in life. I will say also, like always hire a professional rather than believing a bubbling head person on YouTube.
Yes.
We're here to give you information, but we're not qualified to help you skydive, scuba dive. We can't fly the plane for you. We can tell you which plane to take. So yeah, each to its job. I want to say.
It would be pretty cool to do a skydive where you have like 3 people attached to a dude.
Do you realize how much he's going to destroy the back of the dude? Because he has
to
when
land.
When they open the canopy,
They're all
right?
strapped to him,
Exactly.
aren't they?
So he's getting the jolt, right? And then he's getting the jolt of the person on the in front of them.
Yeah.
So there is actually a limit of weight, and that's why, because that would destroy the back. So no, that is nuts. You are absolutely
I thought it
insane,
would
lady.
be cool. What's been the poll this week, by the way? I just see half the poll on
So the poll has been: have you guys ever supported anyone on Patreon? Have you guys ever used Patreon? And so yeah, what's the result? Let's be interested by the result. It says yes, I have. We have 16 people that says yes, you have ever used Patreon to support creator. That's really awesome.
Nice.
And Fabio and Joey, can I click on that because they have used Patreon? So here you go. We have 68 people that says no, I have not, and we have 16 people that say no, but I'll check out your Patreon page. So that's quite cool. So we have 32% of people that are willing to interact with Patreon, and 68% which are like no, not interested in Patreon whatsoever.
Nice.
And there's 25 people that have voted. That's pretty awesome. What is Desai say?
Desai says, why are New Zealanders called Kiwis? I do believe that the story has come from during the World Wars, people outside of New Zealand sort of came up with the nickname for New Zealanders to call them Kiwis because I think because of these little guys, because people sort of know about this crazy bird.
And they had that on their patches.
Yes, so that they had this. This is kind of like the national icon of New Zealand.
Not this guy here,
not
right?
This particular one, but kiwi birds in general, and they're sort of known as like the national icon of New Zealand. So people from outside of New Zealand tend to see like, oh, these guys seem to be obsessed with these Kiwis. So yeah, I think I don't know the exact story, but from what I've heard, it's kind of like...
I just realised I didn't transition.
Oh, yeah, from these little guys. So during the World Wars, people from other countries were sort of calling their comrades who were from New Zealand, they were calling them Kiwis, and it's kind of just stuck from there. So yeah, that is a story that I think is almost 100% true. But if anybody has heard different, let us know on the comments.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to hear if anyone has heard anything different. Anyway, all right, so it's time to wrap it up. I'm going to jump onto an extra live session for the Patreon. So if you guys did find this video useful, make sure to hit like. It's a great free way to reward all our hard work. If you guys are interested in joining us in Patreon, check out patreon.com/nzpocketguy.com. We would really appreciate your support, and that will help us make this live session even better for you all. And if you guys have any questions about traveling in New Zealand, make sure to put them in the comments of this video or any video, and we'll pick them up and answer them for you during our next live session. And if you do want to pick our brain 24/7, head to nzpocketguy.com. There is thousands of articles to help you plan your trip to New Zealand, especially for you, Adil. We also have our favorite things. Oh no, Toby. That was Toby. Our favorite things to do in Hokitika, as I showed on screen before. So I hope that Toby on his trip from Christchurch to Hokitika is going to be able to find some really epic things to do.
Yes.
The last word is going to be from Adil saying, please include the accessibility information in the articles of the museum mentioned earlier on the NZ Pocket Guide website. It would be really useful. Yes, we'll keep that in mind. That's a very good thing to keep in mind. To
good feedback, yeah.
Make sure to put that, okay, it's wheelchair accessible or not.
Sweet.
And finally, last comment of the day. Okay, let's go over that. Joy Tees. They say, hey guys, I've got the GVV visa. Any idea when can I come to New Zealand? We do talk about that extensively during this live session, so you may want to rewind. We've just finished our hour right here, but don't worry, we do address that during the video. So just rewind, sit back, grab a cup of tea, relax, and watch us talk about COVID and New Zealand border opening and all that good thing. So yeah, just rewind a little bit and you'll find all your information. In the meantime, we do really appreciate your support, even if you don't join us in Patreon. Let's just make it clear, right?
Yeah.
We do always appreciate your support, and we're always going to answer your question. We just wanted to do something special for people which are willing to support us a little bit more.
And we've only just launched Patreon this week, so that's why we are talking quite extensively about it. It's a pretty new thing in our lives.
Yes, and also I'm trying to figure out how that works. All right, guys, thank you very much. You guys are all have a lovely evening, day, morning, whatever time in the planet Earth it is for you. For us, it is 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, New Zealand time, and it's time for us to have a lovely weekend day. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye-bye.